Hi, this is Angie Cooper of Knitwegian, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to do Jeny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. If you'd like to skip straight to the techniques, I've included the links in the description below. So this is an amazing cast off or bind off. It's very, very stretchy. And you've got a couple of options with this bind off. If I bind it off on the side I'm knitting, so say this was the side I was knitting, when you bind it off, this is what the bind off looks like. A little bit, including some purl bumps and so forth. If I chose to do it on this side, but I actually had this as my right side of my work, then it gives it a lovely structured bind off, almost in a way like an I-cord. So it's a bit square. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's got a lovely sort of square edge and it gives it a lovely structure. I'll show you where I've used it. I haven't used it like this, but this was the cast on that I have, that I've chosen to use, and I like the edge. It's got a similar look to purl bumps, and I wanted a matching bind off. And so this is when I've used Jeny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off on the right side. So I knitted on this side and I bound off on this side, and it's made a lovely edge. Those little purl bumps and that, I really loved how that looked. And it's very stretchy. This is to go over a head. It's a cowl, and so I needed it to be stretchy, and it does a wonderful job. So now I'll show you how to actually do that cast off or bind off. I'll first demonstrate it in the English style and then the Continental style. So I'm going to be on the wrong side just so that I can show you how to get it to that same edge. So pretend this is my right side and I've knitted. Now I want to do a bind off like that. So I've gone to the wrong side and we'll start the bind off as we usually bind off. I'll knit the first stitch, and before we knit the second stitch and then pass over, we'll do a reverse yarn over. So usually our yarn overs look like that, coming from the back to the front, going underneath the needle. A reverse yarn over is just directly over the top to the front. So that's my yarn over. I'll knit this next stitch. Now I want to pass over these two stitches to create my cast off or my bind off. So I'll pass that one stitch over, pass the next stitch over. Now I've got as if I've got my first stitch again. Now I'll do a yarn over again over the top, reverse, knit my next stitch and pass that stitch over. Now to make it a bit quicker, I'm going to first yarn over, reverse yarn over the top, knit my next stitch, and then I can just grab both of those stitches together and pass them over that knit stitch to cast off or bind off. I'll do that again. Reverse yarn over, knit that stitch, grab both of those loops and pass that over that stitch. And there I'm forming the beginning of my bind off. All right, let me demonstrate that in the Continental knitting style. So first of all, instead of yarn over as we usually do, it's a reverse yarn over. So yarn over from the back over the top, knit the next stitch, and then grab the first stitch and pass that over, splittage. Okay, and then pass over the next stitch. Right. Oh, sorry, I was about to knit that. Reverse yarn over the top, knit the next stitch, pass that stitch over and that first stitch over as well to make your bind off. Now I'll demonstrate how to do that a bit quicker. Yarn over reverse, knit, and grab both of those stitches and pass those over that knit stitch. Do that again. Reverse yarn over, knit, pass those 2 stitches over the knit stitch. Reverse yarn over, knit that stitch, grab those 2 stitches and pass that over. Okay, so I'll just finish that now in the English style. I'm a bit faster in that, and then I can show you the finished result. I'll just pull that up and then snip that off. So there you have that bind off, and you can see that lovely edge, but like an I-cord edge, very stretchy. This is the edge that I actually bound off on, and that's the wrong side of the bind off but right side of my knitting. So you can choose which way you want to do that bind off depending on what you want your finished edge to look like. Thank you so much for watching, and any questions or feedback or comments, please leave those in the area below. Thank you.